Good morning. So this is our coffee this morning. It is a Colombian coffee from Oakland, California, out of Subrosa Coffee Shop. A washed, processed coffee. So I would say it's a pretty good coffee. I had it in my French press, so didn't make it the normal way I normally make it, which is in a drip cup, a pour over. So wasn't really pleased with it just yet, but I'm sure it's really good because I've had their black coffee last time I was here at camp and I freaking loved it. And if you don't know why I'm here for a camp for 3 weeks working with Max Ada to fix all the tiny baby flaws in my lifts and all the huge flaws because let's face it, I suck at the snatch some days. We're gonna go in with a bang and a really good question. This is the first one from Alex Jose. Alec, oops. What does this Olympic pursuit mean to you and why is it worth more than anything? This pursuit to the Olympics obviously means a lot to me. Oh, if you don't know, the little girl in this house, that the host family that I'm staying with, she made this poster for me when I came into the room. This one and another one that says the body achieves what the mind believes. I could not have been more touched by what she did for me, and she has no idea how much that meant to me. It was the world. It was awesome. So let's get back to Alec Jose's question. I think the entire goal as a young child was always to be an Olympic athlete, whether it was a gymnast or a weightlifter. I never thought I would see myself as an Olympic weightlifter on the pursuit to become an Olympian in weightlifting. So I'm really happy that I have been blessed with the opportunity to become a possible Olympic candidate in this sport. I keep saying like I'm gonna be one. See how my mind's just like one way directed? I'm very confident athlete if you don't notice. Not too confident though all the time. So anyways, I just think this pursuit is like, it just means everything. Ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to become an Olympic gymnast. I was 9 years old watching these women compete on the TV. I remember watching Dominique Moceanu, my favorite gymnast, compete, and I was like, oh man, I want to do that someday. That's incredible. Like, that was my dream, to become an Olympic gymnast. Unfortunately, that sport fell short. I did not continue it throughout high school. I actually switched to track and field. And to improve my track and field skills, I switched to weightlifting. Ask me then if I would have been pursuing an Olympic dream in weightlifting, I would have said, heck no. But now looking at it, it's pretty incredible because I've fallen in love with the sport so much that it is my dream to become an Olympic athlete in the sport of weightlifting. And I wouldn't have it any other way. This is important to me because it builds like a self-confidence, and it's built so much hard work over the years. Just going to the Olympics isn't like the only, like everybody sees me, just like if I were to go to the Olympics, everybody would just see that, you know, it'd be like pumped and they'd want to follow me. But like the people that have been following me for years and years and my family know what I've been through in all my sports and really see the dedication and the hard work and the terrible days and the struggles and the days that I just, you know, my body's tired, I'm wrecked, or my diet's hard. And, you know, ever since I was a little girl, 9 years old, I was an athlete. So this journey has been going on since I was 9. All of those sports leading up to now have built me into this weightlifter I am now. I didn't just become this athlete overnight. I worked several years for this dream to try to make it come true. So I didn't just all of a sudden wake up one day and say, I'm just gonna pursue the Olympics in weightlifting. No, I have wanted this since I was 9 years old. Maybe not in this sport, but definitely this pursuit in this pathway. How to improve weightlifting while doing CrossFit. Well, you gotta have cycles. You gotta have strength cycles, you gotta have endurance cycles, and you gotta have like where you're able to throw it all together. So really like a program would be your best option, or if you really want to improve your weightlifting like to the top level and you want to see your numbers climb fast, honestly, you just have to quit CrossFit. You can't do all that stuff and then try to improve your strength at its top level. It just doesn't work. I mean, you can see the girls in CrossFit, their abilities in weightlifting aren't like to where their true abilities could be if they weren't doing all the CrossFit extra stuff. So quit CrossFit, join weightlifting. It's a great sport. You should try it. Mariah Kennedy asked, post-meet, how do you recover? Adjust your macros? Do you take extra time off? Etc. How do I recover? So it depends. There's two ways. If there's another meet, but it's like months and months out, I take a week completely off. I do light CrossFit workouts. I do some like just rowing or biking. Nothing like too heavy though, because I don't want to make myself tired for the next week, because we have to get right back into it. I also, let's see, what else do I do? The macros, like, I literally don't weigh any of my food the week after I compete. I just eat whatever I want to eat. I feel it out, and then I get right back at it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I eat a lot of sweets after a competition, to the point where I'm like gonna vomit because I eat so many. But I don't know, it just feels good and it gets me back in that mindset, and it also like makes me want to get back to my diet, because eating bad for a week makes me feel like crap. So I'm really like pumped after that week to be like, let's get back after it. And then I start feeling good and my body starts feeling good again. And then my training feels really good. So basically this first week, take everything off, don't count macros. I don't count macros at all. And then I don't weigh myself. I don't do any like heavy weightlifting or weightlifting really at all. I just usually take off completely. However, on the flip side, if there's a competition, like for example, I did American Open 2 and then I had to start right again for American Open 3, and then American Open 3 is going to be a month out from Worlds. Or month out? No, I lied to you guys. I think a month, let's see, October, November. Actually, you know what? I think it is. Like, it's like a month and a half out, let's say. So Worlds is going to be a month and a half out. Let's just say that is really close. After the American Open 3, I don't really get to take much time off. I might have like 2 or 3 cheat meals. You know, I might have a cheat meal per week, but I won't take a complete week off of weightlifting. I will literally get right back into it. We will ease back into it, very light training at the beginning of the week, and then start my training again on Wednesday. But honestly, like there's no, from here on to the Olympics, there's really no off season, because we have to compete in 6 international competitions leading up to Olympic trials in order to get enough Roby points, and they're points for your self. Like you get Roby points by going to international competitions, and the more of these Roby points you obtain and get, you have a better chance of making the Olympic team. So if you have to make 6 international meets and compete in 6, that means I'm competing literally every 2.5 months. So no, this next 2 years leading up to the Olympics, there won't be really an off season for Alyssa. I will be competing and crushing my diet every freaking single day. And I'm proud of it, because that right there behind me is the freaking goal, and I'm totally okay with it. Since you started weightlifting, I won't say you said Olympic lifting, because it's not called that unless you're an Olympian. What's the secret in weighing less and being able to throw big numbers around? Well, Sir DJ69, let me tell you a few things. I'm pretty new, but I'm not new. I've been doing this since I was like 15 years old. I did it like once a week for 3 months to improve my track and field skills. So I knew about weightlifting before all the weightlifters now knew about weightlifting. I knew about it freaking, how old am I, 29? Knew about it 13 years ago? Yeah. So this isn't my first rodeo with weightlifting. I've been an athlete my entire life. My base is built off of gymnastics, track and field. I was a skateboarder for a little while. I did so many sports to build this base where I'm at right now. This didn't just this talent of mine for weightlifting didn't just, wow, happen overnight. It was years and years and years and years of sports, building a base for myself, becoming like an athlete mentally and physically, being able to learn how to really, really put all my efforts and hard work and dedication into my sport came from all my other sports. I got so good at weightlifting so fast because number one, I stopped CrossFit. I was CrossFitting for 4 years, and I decided to put all my heart and soul into weightlifting. And I also got on a nutrition plan with Renaissance Periodization and got my nutrition under control, which helped me immensely, especially because I didn't know much about how to portion my meals out properly, what amount of protein I needed, fats, carbs, versus like how hard my workouts were, blah, blah, blah. So I got my nutrition under control. I specialize and I only do weightlifting. So if you think about it, the athletes that only do a certain sport like swimming or soccer or track and field or gymnastics, and they spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours a day dedicating their life working out, like we don't just get up and work out and do a workout. Like, it's not just a 3-hour workout, it's an all day thing. We train all day. Resting is part of training, recovering is part of training, making sure doing breathing drills is a part of training, making sure your diet's on point, making sure that you're actually doing your training properly and you're warming up properly and cooling down properly. Everything I do, from when I drink my coffee to how much sleep I get at night to making sure that I'm not getting too much light at night and waking like light from the sun at night, like from the sun at night. That makes no sense. Okay, anyways, you get it. So everything I do is for weightlifting. So think about how much time I put into my sport. I put in 24 hours a day into my sport. That's from sleep to getting up in the morning to getting dressed to going to the gym to recovering, resting, eating, everything. Everything I do is for the sport. So the weighing less part just came from getting my diet under control and understanding nutrition properly. So that's like where that part came from, I guess. It wasn't really hard for me to drop the weight because mostly it was just a lot of bloating from the wrong foods. So I think that had a huge deal with like how heavy I was. So normally I sit at about like 112, 113 pounds, which is about 51 to 51 and a half kilos. And the big numbers just came from specializing in the sport of weightlifting. I dedicate my entire day to the sport and I wouldn't change it for the world. So yeah, that's how I became Bitty Strong, because I got my nutrition under control. I specialize in the sport of weightlifting and I want to make it to here. So in order to make it to here, everything I do now leading up to here has to be perfect. And if it's not perfect, then here won't happen. I wanted to show you how I actually became Bitty Strong. These questions this week were incredible. Thank you so much for submitting them to me. I look forward to answering your questions next week. Like this video, subscribe, and comment below if you want to hear any other specifics on my YouTube channel.